So now you know what DevOps is. It's not necessarily a set of tools or a specific technical spec, but it's a philosophy, right? One that prioritizes people, emulates a certain culture, thinks about driving progress forward to developing the best software possible and releasing often, and working through changes incrementally, et cetera, et cetera. So, how do we remind ourselves of these principles and get a feeling for using these on a daily basis? And how we do that is keeping in mind this acronym CALMS, CALMS. CALMS stands for culture, automation, lean, measurement, and sharing. So culture means that within your organization that you have an extremely collaborative and cross-functional team. So that means people from different backgrounds, different skill sets are working together to engineer the best product possible for your end customer. DevOps is not going to work if your organization has people that are constantly talking over each other, have a lack of respect between each other, and are at each other's throats a lot. So culture is all about, recognizing that the central mission is to make the end product better and to make your customers' lives easier, and technology is secondary to this goal. Automation is making repetitive tasks that are boring and inefficient, making those automated. So making computers do those repetitive tasks instead of humans doing them and have them being manually input. So a lot of times, low-hanging fruit or things that you can immediately look for these automation tweaks in are code builds, automated testing, deployments, and infrastructure provisioning. So all of those are things that you can start to think of, how can I automate these processes so that they're more fluid and automated so that we don't have to keep doing these repetitive tasks, which are wasting time. Lean comes from the lean manufacturing goal, which is to continuously improve and focus on these small incremental changes. So how we do that is embracing this growth mindset and a constant need to improve, which will make the greatest difference and add value to our end users or our customers. Measurement is the measurement of the data that we collect based on our systems and our workflow. So data is extremely critical to everything that we do and should inform every decision. And so when you're collecting this data and you're reviewing it, it shouldn't be tied to any person's individual performance, but rather how are we maintaining and how can we tweak our system so that it's better overall. So you shouldn't be focusing on how this person did this thing bad or how bad you're doing. It should be how are we gauging improvement and how well are we improving and how well are we all getting to that same goal of making the best product possible. And finally, sharing. So building a team which everyone contributes. So everyone's working towards the same goal. Everyone's sharing information and learning from each other. So there's no longer the ops team is blaming the dev team or, this team's function is this, so they must be the bottleneck. It's everyone has the same mentality and works on the same projects. So we're all in the same mindset. We're all in the same boat together. We're all teaching each other along the way. So it's a shared responsibility. So now that you know what CALMS is and what it stands for, keep that in mind as you go along your DevOps journey, and it'll really drive home those main points that you need to focus on when trying to implement DevOps in your organization.